Hey everybody, Yamez here with Isle Metal Forge. Just saying what's up. Man, I did these electrical videos and what a positive response. So first and foremost, I'd like to thank you guys for... I asked for questions and boy did you guys give me questions. I will get to them, I will sort them, I will write them down. Whatever I gotta do, I will try and get to every single question. One-man show here, guys. I'll do what I can for you. Today I'm going to go over breakers, and I will have a companion video that will probably, very likely, upload right with this one. It'll be on wire, which is a little bit more important than breakers, but everybody likes breakers when dealing with electricity. It's like, oh, I'll just increase the breaker size and then I'll have more power. It's like, no. But, so there's no confusion about breakers. When I'm, it's like just a regular standard breaker. This is just a junk one. This is a Murray's breaker. I don't even have a Murray's panel in this garage right now. Just a single pole, 20 amp breaker. On, off. It's got the tab. It's got the notch. Now, this, for example, this Murray breaker will not fit a Square D Homeline panel. Will obviously not fit a Square D QO panel. It doesn't have the same hookups for it. And as far as the notches go, they're a little bit different. Okay? So they won't quite fit. Now, you'll also see the two-pole breakers. Right? A two-pole breaker is for running 220. Now, these are just the breaker shapes and sizes. It's basically two single poles connected with an interconnect switch right here, a common trip bar to allow you, it's a two pole, so that if one leg is having problems, they both trip, shutting off power. That is the purpose of a breaker. The purpose of a breaker, to protect the wire. If the wire is getting overloaded, say it's 12 gauge wire and it's pushing over 20 amps, which is what 12 gauge wire is rated for, and it's on a 20 amp breaker, that breaker will trip and protect the wire. It'll shut off the circuit so that it doesn't go over 20 amps. Technically, they're not, or by code, they're not supposed to be overloaded to. They have to maintain below 80% rating. Like, you can't plan for 20 amps to be on a 20 amp breaker. You plan for a little bit less. If you're going to have something that's 20 amps, you put it on a 30. You up the wire to 10 and you put it on a 30. Another common breaker people will see is this. It also has two handles and two screws to have two wires. But it is only single phase. It's just one pole, okay, as opposed to the two poles. This is, it's a tandem breaker. We don't really put them in new construction. You see them a lot more in remodels or homeowners installing them. This is if you have no space and you just need to add another circuit, and you find a 2020 or a 2015 or 1515, and you just combine the two, making sure, of course, that the wire is the proper size and it's phased right. You don't want to put a 220 on this. It won't work then. Then, like I showed before, a QO panel. It's a Square D QO. There are a few different breakers that have completely different types of bottoms as opposed to the notches. Okay, this clips on a bar and then onto the bus. So that's what you see. The QOs are neat. I can't do it because I can't set it to trip, but they have a little window that turns orange when it's tripped. Very handy thing. Also, you'll see, and hopefully I'll get to, but it's not really necessary for what we're doing here. This is shop electric. You have GFI breakers and arc fault breakers. This is new code. Everything residential, everything pretty much has to be arc faulted, with a few addendums. I'm not going to go over all the code right now, but pretty much lights and outlets in general household have to be arc faulted, and that's to protect it. GFI breakers are more for wet or damp locations. such as bathrooms, kitchens, garages, outside outlets, sheds. So a lot of you guys will be dealing with probably GFI breakers or GFI outlets. I don't currently have a GFI outlet, or I would have done a video on one already. But I will get one, and I will do some GFI outlet fun. Now, an important thing that I hear a lot of people say, I've actually, on some of the forums, I've heard this recommended to some other in a blacksmith's forum, and understandably, not a lot of people. It's a common misconception. You have a 15 amp circuit in there, okay, in the panel, and it keeps tripping, it keeps tripping, it keeps tripping. Oh, I've got, the chop saw on it, I've got the angle grinder on it, I got this on it, and it keeps tripping, it keeps tripping. Well, somebody said, just take out the 15 and put in a 20. What's that going to do? You take out the 15, which the breaker is doing its job. You are overloading the circuit and it is tripping. And you remove that safety and you put in something that is not rated for the wire. You're removing the safety. That's right there. You'll burn up the wire. It may not happen instantly, but over time it'll get crispy. That insulation will get crispy and it will crack and break. And then short arc, costing you, somebody's got to go in and dig around the walls to find it, or at worst case scenario, could turn into a toaster coil and light your house on fire. That's one of the reasons electrical fires start is, removing the safety. And we'll cover that. I'll talk a little bit more into that in the wire video, and you'll hear me discuss that through several more of these videos. I've got a project board. I may actually set up a demo, oopsie demo, where I purposely set up false or the wrong way of doing things, and to show you guys what happens. Because some of it's neat, some of it's just the breaker trips. But I think, for example, it would be neat if I were to hook up a welder on some 14 gauge wire and show you guys what happens when you want to try and plug a welder into a common household circuit. I will have the fire extinguisher on hand, and I will take every precaution when I do that so that I am not in danger, nor will my shop be. But I think that might be a fun little video. If ever you're nervous about the electricity, shut it off to work on it. If you're nervous about how you're doing it, call an electrician. It is expensive, but it's the safety and peace of mind that it's going to be done right. If you feel over your head, you call somebody who knows. So with that, I'm going to try and keep doing more, and these videos right here, right now, are just really quick talking videos. I got off of work and I wanted to shoot a few. So hopefully this gives you guys a little bit of a clarification of what we're dealing with here with electricity, both the safety and the material, the material running it, the wire. So with these two videos, I'm going to let them go out and see what you guys have to say. And my next one, I don't want to promise what I'm going to work on next because I've got to gather stuff. I want to build a project board. I might do GFIs next. I might do a 220 next. Both of those are soon coming, and I will work on both of them. Actually, for my demo build, my demo board build, I will be wiring up a 220, either a plug or wiring 220 directly to the panel, and having a plug over there for a 220, because my project board is going to have a little mini panel on it, which is going to need 220. So you guys are going to see a little bit of stuff. I'll also cover, like drop cords, why to use SO cable as opposed to regular extension cords. Or if you do buy an extension cord for yourself, make sure that it's a rated extension cord. All my extension cords are 12s and 10s as opposed to 14, or some of the household ones they sell are 16 gauge wire. that's not even rated for 15 amps, you know, like you can't, that's not even household. You shouldn't even run a grinder on those, but we do. So with that in mind, I hope you guys are all staying safe. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments of any of my videos, and I will try and keep up with them. So hearts and health, everybody. It's freezing, so I'm gonna shut it down and go inside and thaw. I'd really appreciate y'all if y'all hit that subscribe, and all of these electrical stuff will be right here in this playlist. And don't worry, I will still be doing some forging, and I'm not giving up on that. Those videos will be right here. Thank you.